it's Karina. Welcome back to my channel. This is the first long form video I've filmed in a while. I'm a little rusty for sure. So today's video, as you can tell by the title, it's going to be talking about how social media and external feedback and having regular quarter life crises. I feel like this channel, if you go back, I just hit 100 videos recently, so if you go back anytime when I started this channel, it was just like a constant life crisis for me. And it's been a couple years since I've had this channel, and it's sparked a lot of reflection. I've thought about taking videos down. I've thought about just deleting this YouTube channel in general, and something stops me. I think even though I've been through a lot of cringy things and I've posted a lot of cringy things on the internet, I do remember being younger and seeing other influencers or other people on the internet share openly about what was going on with them. I hope that people can see that you can have, I had a crisis over and over and over and over again. I'm in my early 20s, and now I'm just kind of recovering from that. And people can get better with a lot of work, which is kind of what sparked this topic in the first place. I feel like social media is a really awesome tool, but it's also so ingrained in my life. Since I was born in 1998, yes, I'm an elder Gen Z. I was pretty much raised on the internet, social media. I had an established Facebook page and all that good stuff. My first YouTube channel I made when I was in, elementary school. So I've always had role models online, and I've always been online. I had a kind of a lonely childhood. There weren't a lot of kids around me my age that were super close. So I kind of used social media as a way to socialize and find my place in the world, and that had a lot to do with how I saw my identity and how I functioned, and my personality was really and is really shaped by that. I think that's just kind of part of being in a younger generation, growing up with access to technology. Definitely affects me. But the thing I want to talk about today is that it really affects my identity. When I say identity, I just mean kind of self-esteem, where I fit into the world, and how I just kind of view myself and my perspective on myself is kind of what I'm going for today. There's a lot of different ways that you can talk about this, finding oneself, and my my million life crises, quarter life crises have taught me that I can't every time I try to figure something out, it's I just know very little, that I know very little and understand very little. But the things I want to talk about today is how when I was growing up on social media, there was a lot of pressure for me to I got really obsessed with Pro Anna Tumblr pages. So if anybody knows what Pro Anna is, it's pro-anorexic, eating disorder subcultures online, forums and stuff. So I was a part of that on Tumblr. On those pro-Anna pages, there would be not ridiculous, so there'd be pictures of really thin bodies, and I've never had a super thin body, besides the height of my eating disorder, naturally. So I just felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I wasn't good enough, I wasn't pretty enough. And that was, I started getting very obsessed with pro-anorexia photos and forums and groups and goal weights and current weight, all that stuff. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, a dark time. I started getting obsessed with that really deep in 6th or 7th grade. So that was just seeing those images online and seeing other people also subscribing and trying so hard to fit this standard of beauty that we thought was the only way to be pretty. And I still, I'm 26 now, so it's been a long time since I discovered that and been working through that, and I still struggle with body image because of what I see online, because of how I interact with the people in the world. I notice what other people look like, and I assume I should be fitting that way, looking that way, and fit into clothes the same way too. I'm so happy that social media has changed a little bit to be a lot more inclusive, and for a lot of people with other sized bodies besides like the super skinny models to be able to talk about how they dress themselves and just be proud of what they look like. I'm very far away from that kind of a thing. But yeah, I would say that like it took a huge toll on how I viewed myself. There are like another thing I'm going to talk about is like the aesthetics thing that's going on, I guess always, but from like e-girl aesthetics to cottagecore aesthetics to dark academia. I get it. Like when I was young, like really young, like middle school, I really wanted to be like emo. There was like goth people before that and punk people before that, but like now with the internet, it's gone out of fucking control. Like it's gone out of control. I think that it can be confusing to try to figure out where somebody fits in when there's only these aesthetic labels. Like I wear black clothes, you know, like I have tattoos, and my goth, I don't know, maybe I have like goth tendencies. I don't know. I think like it's important for me when I try to like reflect on who I am and how important like my style is to me, which to some people that might seem like superficial, but like my appreciation for my personal style and like appreciating beauty and like taste really, it's a big part of my personality. And I thought that might be a little superficial at first, and then I was like, no, it's just part of who I am. So I really have to ask those questions, like, does this matter to me? Social media we see somebody's life for like a little second. We don't even know if that's what they're like in public or with other people. That's just how I show up on camera, the way that I show up on camera on YouTube. I don't expect anybody I know to watch this, and like maybe like an old friend might watch this kind of thing, but I expect like strangers and like 13-year-old girls to watch this stuff. So I don't know. I mean, this is not how I like present to other people, probably. Like all the crazy shit that I was talking about like a couple years ago, I don't think I talked like, maybe I did, who fucking knows, you know what I mean? I don't think it provides a full picture of like who I am in privacy. And I think that's like the main telltale sign of what I'm like, is like, if I were to describe myself to somebody based on the way that I am by myself when I'm alone, it's kind of a good telltale sign, because I've struggled with like different things of trying to like fit in with other groups of people, like not just online but in person. And sometimes, and this is the last topic, was like the feedback from other people that I get about being, I don't know, quirky, or I've had people say things like kind of like standoffish or sarcastic, just like a lot of different things. And like I've had other people give me labels like about my style and the way that I look, and just assume things about me. And even though I know like in my head that they don't know me very well, so I shouldn't take it personally, even if it's a nice thing, I think that it's important for me to be able to separate what I think about myself versus what other people think about, because it can be really confusing for me to consider. I had to do an exercise recently by a mentor, and she told me like, write some characteristics you like about yourself. And it took me so long to warm up, because I was like thinking, do I think that? I was like thinking about what other people have told me in the past and what their point of view of me is. And I had to like really train myself to be like, no, what do I think about myself? What do I like about myself? Take time to reflect, like what is mine and what is me trying to fit into like pop culture or the internet or other people's ideals or my like close group community values. Like, is that really me? Do I agree with those things, or am I just trying to fit in? That's okay too. But can I pick myself from a crowd of personalities, of character, really? I think that's super important, because you know, at the end of the day, like the only thing that's going to work when I'm feeling really like down on myself or like criticized by the world or just gets to be too much, is like, do I think I'm doing the right thing? You know, I've made so many choices based on what other people wanted me to do. I would much rather act by what I think is right, by what I think I should be or want to be for myself, and deal with the consequences that come with it. I definitely like made some mistakes, but I don't have too many regrets because I know that those choices were mine. I made them by myself. I wasn't bossed around by the world or by other people to like try to appease anybody else but me. And I got to find out the consequences of those actions for myself. And I will never have to go back and wonder like, what if I just listened to that little voice inside of my head that wanted to try something else, that wanted to try to go move to New York, or that wanted to try to make a YouTube video but was too worried I was going to be made fun of, or was too worried it wasn't going to work out. And I have to deal with my consequences. I'm the one doing the action. If I live by somebody else's rules, and I've done this before, I'm gonna get really fucking mad, like frustrated. I'm gonna feel like I've lost out on my own life, you know? So yeah, so do whatever the fuck you want, you know what I mean?